What is up, YouTube? C here, and for today's video I will be talking about my picks for this UFC Fight Night, which is headlined by Manel, Kape, and Royval. And without further ado, let's just get on to the video. Now for the first fight of this card, we got Jamie Lynn Horth and Teresa Blede. And if I had to choose who's going to win, I'd say Jamie Lynn has got this, because her opponent, who I'll call Blade because I don't want to mispronounce this shit, she hasn't fought in over 2 years, man. And her last win was over Gabriela Fernandez. And now Gabriela Fernandez, she's gone to do good stuff. But and it is a win that has aged well. But you can't just, not fight for 2 years, man. Not fighting for 2 years, yeah, unless she's been training, which knowing WMMA fighters, she probably isn't. That's just not nothing against women. It's just genuinely true. I'll make another video, but Mackenzie Dern literally recently said that she's gonna take like a 6-month break, and yeah, just kill me already. But back to this fight, I'd say Jamie Lynn Horth will win this. They both have finishing ability, but I don't think this is gonna end in the finish, man. So if I had to choose a winner, I'd say Jamie Lynn Horth by UD. Now for this next fight, we got Alan Fry Jr. versus Guillaume Pat. Now Alan Fry Jr., he has a 100% finishing rate. He has 6 KOs, and Pat, he has 4 KOs out of 5 fights. So this is definitely gonna likely end in a finish. And both these guys are virtually the same. Pat is 6'5", Fry is 6'4", and Fry is 27, Pat is 31. Now, okay, I'll just be honest. I'm just fishing for stuff to talk about because both these guys are making their UFC debuts, and there's really nothing that we know. Pat's coming off of a win from Real Deal Champions, and Fry is coming from a organization called Real Deal Champions, and Pat's coming from a LFA. So based on that, I think Pat has got this, because LFA, it is a good organization. It's actually a pretty well-known feeder organization to the UFC. Guys like Alex Pereira and Diego Lopez have fought in it. So if I have to guess, I'd say Pat alone would win. We know nothing about these guys. Just nothing. So if I had to guess, I'd say Pat by first or second round KO. For this next fight, we got Melissa Crowden versus Luana Santos. And now Melissa, she made her debut recently on the Allen versus DeRitter card. She won by KO, which is very impressive, because women just don't have that much power in them. And now Luana, she is a UFC vet. She is a black belt in judo, so there's that. And how can I see this fight? Actually, also one more thing. These two got good finishing rates. Melissa, she actually has a 100% finishing rate, and now she does have 2 losses, but they're both by UD, and so does Luana. She has 2 losses by UD as well. So how can I see this fight going now? Now, some people may get hyped about Melissa, but she is 34 years old, and Luana is 25. So now who knows? Maybe Melissa, she's been training for a long ass time, and she got into MMA recently. And also, age is kind of a non-factor in women's division as well. But that's let's get back on topic. But Luana is 25, man, and I feel like that's gonna help her out, along with the experience of more MMA fights. And that judo, she does have very good, legit judo. And so if I had to say who would win this, I'd say Luana by either second round submission or unanimous decision. Okay, so for this next fight, we got Sean Sheriff versus Steven Asplund. And okay, I'm gonna go with Steven Asplund on this, because Sean Sheriff, he lost to Justin Taffa in October of 2024, and he hasn't fought since at all. So based on that, I'd say I feel like Steven Asplund's got this. And also another reason is this will be Steven's 4th fight this year, because he had 1 in January and 1 in April, and then he had his Contender Series fight on Day 1's Contender Series, and he won via first round KO 16 seconds into the fight. So I feel like with that, it's gonna be it's a no-brainer. There's not really much to talk about this. This dude comes from Minnesota top team, so I guess it's a branch from American top team, something like that. But also he does come from LFA, so that's another thing. So I'm gonna say Steven Asplund by first round KO. For his next fight, we got Neil Magny versus Yaroslav Amosov. And okay, now this guy, he comes from Bellator, Yaroslav Amosov, and he is 28-1, which it sounds like a crazy record, but this dude he isn't like, I guess you could say he's a Bellator mainstay, but this dude has fought in leagues that you literally don't. What the fuck is Tech Crep FC? Or CSFU? ECF? Ukraine versus Turkey? What? Okay. And also, he lost to a guy, Jason Jackson, who was 19-6. Now, granted, Jason Jackson trains apparently at Killcliff FC, so I mean, maybe he's not a bad dude. Maybe his record is just booty, but Yaroslav, he is 32 years old. Neil Magny, he's 38. But I want to go with Neil Magny. My gut's telling me to go with Neil Magny, but Neil is just getting up there in age, dude. And Yaroslav, like I said, he's 32. Also, he trains with the American Top Team, so he's definitely got some good training partners, without a doubt. And I mean, he does have a decent finishing rate, 20 finishes out of 29 fights, which is okay. That's all right. It's not bad. I mean, okay, he has been a bit of a decision, but also he hasn't fought in 2 years. I forgot to add that he hasn't fought in. Actually, he did fight earlier this year, but prior to that, he hadn't fought till November 17th, 2023. So this fight it's a little difficult. I mean, he did, like I said, he won earlier this year by submission. But I mean, I don't know. It was also one of these Russian cards, so you know what? I'll just go with Yaroslav. I'll use my own words. I'll say second round KO maybe. All right, so we got Jonas Sabrito versus Isaac Thompson. Now Isaac Thompson, from what I know, he's a short nose replacement, and so based on that, I'm just gonna go with Jonas Sabrito. It's not rocket science, What else is there to talk about? Maybe this will backfire in the future. Who knows? I'll pick Jonas Sabrito by third round submission. So for this next fight, we got Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson, and right off the bat, I'm gonna go with Jillian Robertson because Amanda Lemos, ever since fighting Zhang Wei Li back in 2023 on that O'Malley versus Aljamain card, she's been 2-2. And Jillian, she's on a 4-fight winning streak. She is on a 4-fight winning streak. She has finished 2 of her 4 fights, both by KO TKO. And Jillian, she is very good on the ground. She's a very good grappler. Now, Amanda, she's got good striking, but as we know in WMMA, as soon as things get hairy, they like to grapple. And I mean, some of them are grappling is just absolute cheeks, but Jillian's got good grappling. She's got good grappling. And so, I mean, what else can I say? I'm going to pick Jillian Robertson by second round TKO or submission maybe. Now for the first fight on the main card, we got Bobby Green versus Lance Gibson Jr. Now, okay, Bobby Green is a UFC vet. He's been in this company for like at minimum a decade. Okay, and he's been doing MMA for close to 2 decades. But my mind's telling me to go with Lance Gibson. Here's why. This fight, by the way, is at catchweight, so things may be different. And also, this was on short notice for both guys, to my knowledge, from what I know. But I mean, Bobby Green is just on the decline, man. He is 1-3 in his last 4 fights. His only win against Jim Miller, and this dude has been finished in 3 of his last 4 fights, which is his 3 losses. So I mean, really, it's not that hard to not that hard to think about. And his only last serious win against Grant Dawson is, well, it's kind of getting him proven to be faulty now. And Gibson Jr., okay, look, this guy, he is a nobody. He hasn't fought since last year, But I mean, so hasn't Bobby. He was the last dude he fought, like Mauricio Rufy earlier this year. But I mean, come on, it's been a minute too. Now, like I said, Lance Gibson, he hasn't fought in a while, and this guy is a Bellator fighter. His last fight was in an organization called Excite Fight, Muckleshoot Fight Night. Which, okay, I know that's not inspiring somehow, but he does have 7 finishes in 9 of his wins. So, okay. And also, he's 30 years old, so he's relatively young, and he's not, I guess his body doesn't have a high mileage to put it, to put it in a way that some can understand. Bobby Green is literally 32-17 with one draw. And I mean, it's not. And I mean, this dude, he has. Let's see. Let's do the math. 20 out of his finishes out of his 32 wins. It's not rocket science, guys. I mean, who knows? Maybe some people are gonna disagree with me, but Bobby Green just isn't that good anymore. So I'm gonna go with Lance Gibson Jr. by. I'll go second round TKO. For this next fight, we got Kenny Nzechukwu versus Marcus Buchecha, and right off the bat, I'm gonna go with Kennedy. Now, Kennedy, okay, I know this dude's his heavyweight career. Let's talk about his heavyweight career for now. His light heavyweight career is irrelevant. Let's talk about his heavyweight career. He is 2-1 at heavyweight. Now, of course, those 2 wins are against Chris Barnett and Lucas Brzezinski, and that 1 loss is to Walter Walker, the heel hook GOAT. But this dude he's fighting, Marcus Buchecha, he's 5-2, and he lost his debut by UD against Martin Buday. Now, Kennedy has finished bums, okay? And Martin Buday, this dude, he's a fucking scrub, man. He's not that. Okay, well, actually, hold on. Let's think about. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's think about it for a moment. Martin Buday is all right, okay? He's 16-2 in the UFC. But I mean, who the fuck? His last 2 wins before that were against he actually lost to Shamil Gaziev before his 3-fight win streak. And on that win streak, I think he was Arlovsky's retirement fight, and he fought. Hold on. Utis Sutayev. Some guy named Yusutayev. Sutabayev. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't know who the fuck that is. But if I had to guess, shit, I'm just gonna go with Kenny Nzechukwu. I'll go with first round TKO. Let's just go with that, because let's not make this into some rocket science shit. For this next fight, we got Melchizedek Costa versus Morgan Charrier. And okay, Melchizedek Costa, he has 7 wins by KO and 8 wins by sub, and out of his 24 wins, so 13 finishes out of 24 fights. And in his UFC career, he has only 2 finishes, which are both by submission. So far he seems to be, judging by, if you were to look at his record, his ESPN card, which I'm doing right now, you would say, oh, he's a bit of a grappler guy. But if you look at the numbers, he's actually more of a striking guy, if you watch the fights as well. And also, here's the thing about Costa. He has been out-grappled before in his fights. In his most recent wins, which have both been UDs, he's been taken down by Julian Erosa and Christian Rodriguez. Now, C-Rod, he's an alright guy. Julian Erosa, he's not there. But I'm not worried for Costa, because he's going against Morgan Charrier, who is, ever since getting into the UFC, he's been a win-lose fighter. Now, Morgan Charrier, he was hyped from coming from Cage Warriors, and he has lost to guys like Paul Hughes and Jordan Vucenic. But Jordan Vucenic, he's, we saw him and he left the UFC after, his stint. And Paul Hughes, I mean, he's fighting in PFL, but I mean, we don't know what those guys' ceiling are in the UFC. I mean, okay, we did see Kayla Harrison, but WMMA is just, let's just not get onto that right now. Let's get back to that topic. And so, Morgan Charrier, he is 3-2 in the UFC. So he's literally a win-lose fighter. Like literally, he's a win-lose fighter. And so, based on that, I just have to go with Melchizedek Costa, because he's much more well-rounded. He trains at Shooter Box. He trains with, now this isn't the Shooter Box with Wanderlei Silva and Charles Oliveira. It's an affiliate, from what I can see. I did some research, and none of the guys train there. Charles doesn't train there, so it has safe to assume that's affiliate. But also, Joanna Sabrito trains there, which is good. That's pretty good, man. He's a good fighter. Joanna Sabrito, he's a good fighter, man. Based on that, and just his overall capability of, his grappling and his striking, I'd say I'd have to go with Melchizedek Costa by 3rd round submission. For the next fight, we got Cesar Almeida versus Cesare Olejniczak. Now, if that last name looks and hopefully sounds familiar, he's the brother of Mikhail Olejniczak. That Polish guy who trains at Fighting Nerds, and his brother, who we're talking about, also trains at the Fighting Nerds. And now he's gonna make his UFC debut today, or well, depending on when this video comes out, Saturday. I'll just say Saturday. This Saturday he'll make his UFC debut. And the reason why he's making his debut is because he got a contract from the Contender Series after getting a first round KO within 36 seconds. So I mean, shit, man, hey, sounds pretty good to me. And his record is 16-3, so it's not bad. Also, he does have a high KO rate, so it's not like this isn't some he changed gyms and now he knows how to KO the shit out of people. No, he's been able to KO people. He's got 2 subs in there as well. And now the guy he's fighting, Cesar Almeida, looking at his profile, it says he trains at Sixera MMA and Fitness, and yes, that is the same gym that Alex Pereira trains at. Now, I did try and go to SureDog to look and see if he's listed there, and he wasn't, so maybe this is like a recent change, but I don't know. But, I'll just go with it. So, he's been training with Poetan, supposedly, maybe, or hopefully, and, coached under Glover Teixeira, so I guess with that, you could argue maybe he's got better experience, maybe he's got better coaching, but Caesar, I'm gonna call him Caesar. I'll call him C. Yeah, C. C. He's training with the fighting nerds, so he's definitely training with Caio and Prades. So I mean, he's definitely got some guys who can help him out. So I feel like, based on that, I feel like my mind should go with Olszewski. And who knows? I will probably be proven wrong, because there's just really not a lot to know about these guys. At least on Olszewski's part. Caesar's a known guy, but he did KO. I don't know who the fuck this is. His notable loss is to Roman Kape, but he has wins over guys that you really just won't remember. Seriously, can you name any of his wins? Except for Iho Potira. I know some people know that, but Iho is not that good, so I'll go with Cesario Olszewski, and you know what? Let's just go with first round KO. And now for the unofficial co-main to this card, we got Giga Chikadze versus Kevin Vallejos. And now look, Kevin Vallejos, it does look like he is getting fast-tracked into the rankings, which I wouldn't blame you out for thinking. This dude literally has 2 fights in the UFC and 1 on the Contender Series. And his only finish in the UFC was against Seungwoo Choi, who is South Korean DEI hire, man. This guy is just, in his last 5, he is 1-4. So this guy is just not that good. He's not good. And his other win against Danny Silva, it's not bad. He was on a run of his own, okay, he may not be that active, but at least he was on a run. But Giga Chikadze, now I will say this, Giga has been losing to good guys in his division. David Onama. Okay, well, I guess you can argue that, but Arnold Allen, Calvin Cater, okay. But at least he's beating, not so good guys like Alex Caceres and Edson Barbosa. I guess you can argue if Edson's, yeah, he's on the tail end of his career. I think it's safe to say after his fight with Jaden Green, yeah, he's not that good. But he has been losing to good people. Okay, let's just say that he's been losing to, on paper, good people. And Kevin Vallejos, looks like he's getting fast-tracked. He's to the rankings. Get him a ranking spots from Argentina. So, in that South America market, Latino market, which helps the UFC grow more, because those guys love fighting down there. But anyways, back to who I think is gonna win. I'd say Kevin Vallejos, based on the fact that Giga, he's just fighting just for fighting. Is he gonna try and get to the title? He's 37 years old, so in my mind, I'd say it's gonna be a little hard for him to fight for the title. And Kevin Vallejos, he's only 24, so he's young and hungry. He's young and hungry. That's all there is really to it. And he does have 11 KOs to his record and 2 submissions. So he's a finishing machine. He's a finishing machine. Now he does have 1 loss, but that was a bit ago, man. That was a bit ago. Okay, well actually, his loss was to Gene Silva on his first attempt to get into the Contender Series. So, dang, I did not remember this. Hold on. Okay, dang, I guess call me a casual. I don't remember this. Alright, but back to the point. See, his only loss is to Gene Silva, a really good fighter. So, I mean, really, it's just, I mean, I guess you could, just do some rocket. You could, be like, this is a weird form of math, but I'd say Kevin Vallejos has got this, and I'll just say Kevin Vallejos by 3rd round KO TKO. Now for the main event of the last ESPN Fight Night, we got Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. And so, let's categorize these guys' styles. Brandon Royval, he likes to mix it up. He will mix it up with the, with the kicks, with the boxing. Likes to throw some knees in there. Manel Kape, he's mainly a boxing kind of guy. He will box, and he will try and, go for the knockout, because, that's what he likes. He likes to box. And so, here's what I will say about Manel Kape. He is 4-1 in his last 5, with that one loss being Muhammad Mokaev. And now this is a pretty boring fight, if I'm being honest. It was very boring, but back on track. He did defend a good amount of Muhammad Mokaev's takedowns to get back up. He was only controlled for 2 out of the 15 minutes of the fight. So, with that, I'd say it's going to be hard for Brandon Royval to try and grapple with them. So, if I was to say how this would go, I'd say this would be a mainly a stand-up fight. This would be on the feet, back and forth, striking battle. And with that, I'd say Manel Kape has got the ability to do this, especially if he tries his, patented technique with the eye pokes, which he infamous used on Arsenal Mokaev. Because we know the refs like to give these guys free fouls. And knowing Manel Kape, he'll probably try and eye poke Brandon Royval. It's illegal, but it's not like they're going to take a point away. They can definitely help him out. I couldn't see Manel Kape doing that. But that is just a hypothetical. I hope he doesn't actually eye poke Brandon Royval. Let's talk about legitimate methods. I could see Manel Kape knocking out Brandon Royval with his boxing. Because we did see Joshua Van was doing good with the boxing. And we saw him set up his boxing sequences with kicks, leg kicks, calf kicks. We saw him set those up, and he eventually dropped Brandon Royval in the last 10 seconds of the 3rd round. And so with that, I think Manel Kape is going to hopefully look at that footage and be like, okay, I can game plan for this. Brandon Royval, in his last 5 fights, he was 3-2, with those 2 losses being to Brandon Royval. And, with his last 2 losses being to Alexander Pantoja, and now the current champ, Joshua Van. So, he has only lost to good dudes, on paper, but Muhammad Mokaev is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. And so, in short, I think Manel Kape has got this. Because I think Manel Kape knows how to game plan. And I'd say he'll go for the KO. And I'd say he'll win by KO or TKO in the 3rd or 4th round. Alright, now it's time for the outro. So, this is officially the last ESPN card. Last week was the last ESPN pay-per-view. So now is officially the end of the ESPN era. Starting, this Saturday. After this Saturday, it will be the end. Anyways, this card, I'd say, is actually a lot better than, has the potential to be a lot better than some people may be looking at it. Because there are some names on here, and I could definitely see this being somewhat enjoyable. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an absolute bore fest, but that's just UFC events for you, man. Sometimes on paper they're good, sometimes on paper they're bad, but they turn out to be good. But and all I gotta say, man, is that if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it if you like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and I just hope everybody out there is safe, and take care, guys. Peace.